You're a fan of Air Maxes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
The architect, Tinker Hatfield.
Okay, so Tinker Hatfield created the Air Max as well, because everyone knows Tinker Hatfield for the Jordans. He's also the creator of the Air Max. You have a pair right there.
Oh yeah, this is the Air Max Zero. The Air Max Zero, this was his original sketch for what wound up becoming the Air Max One.
Okay.
And this was the original sketch. And Air Max Day was recently 326 was the Air Max Day. And it's funny because Nike reached out to me. Like again, this love hate that I have with Nike. They reached out to me and they needed to borrow some shoes. Now I've lent Nike shoes in the past. You go back to WBF last August at Success, the Air Force One display in Chicago, that was my display. A couple of shoes that were on display for All-Star Weekend were mine. When they do the 21 Mercer thing and they had all the Air Forces and 21 Mercer in that glass case, those were all mine. So, it's a business for me. I charge to borrow shoes.
Why does Nike ask you for the displays when they have a vault with all this stuff?
It's a lot easier to sit there. When you have budgets and you're zillion dollar brand like Nike, it's much easier to just sit there and have me bring out shoes to an event instead of going to look through my archives.
Okay.
Again, you talk about zillions of shoes, 10s and 20s and 30s and 50s and thousands, hundreds of thousands of shoes. You got to go look for them in the archive. It's like watching all episode of Law and Order, and they got to go back into the damn crime room and find one little file.
Right.
So that's basically what it is. So
Okay.
when you have budgets and marketing companies, and you already pay marketing companies, and they have X amount of budgets. See, I know how the game goes. I have a marketing company. With Mayor Consultants, I have stadium status as well. So I know what it is when they give you budgets. So it's already allocated into the budget. So why not just pay me to borrow the shoes?
Okay.
So instead of going in the archive, they pay me a fee. I go the extra mile though. I give them what they ask for. Then I'm like, hey, what about these? Because some of the shoes on the list that they borrowed for the Air Max Day wasn't on the list. So I'm like, hey, how about that hybrid? How about that Clot? That Clot Air Max One. Do you need that? So they're like, okay, all right, send them all. So I send like 18 pair out. I charge them whatever they want. So normally I just ship them with a whole lot of insurance on them.
Right.
And ship them back, on Nike's dime actually, obviously. But this time they ask for pairs. So I'm like, well, I'm not going nowhere without my pairs. Nobody's going to steal one shoe. Somebody will steal pairs.
Right.
Now, not saying Nike's going to steal shoes, but when you hire marketing agencies and they hire outside entities, and you know how it goes. If you're based out of New York and you go to Chicago, you go to LA, you hire a team in LA. You don't bring your usual staff out there.
Yeah.
You outsource the work. So I don't trust nobody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Just Blaze did an interview with us, and he was saying how this one time at the airport, a whole bunch of his shoes got stolen.
These are the crazy things. I had 2 pairs of Parastones. And I forget which pair I talked about on Vlad. One pair got stolen by my old doorman. The other pair got stolen when my luggage got stolen off of a plane.
That's crazy. Like, see, I would be telling the story from behind bars.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Come on, this is me. This is 30 years, man. This is like an artist losing a real painting. Like this is 30 years.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So they borrow shoes, and so I'm like, yo, individual shoes I have no problem with. So they outsource the work. So I'm real funny with pairs. So I was like, yo, check this out. So I hit him back. I was like, hey, I got your shoes. I boxed them up. I was like, here comes the bad part. They're not going out without me. So I put them into my big Toomey luggage because they hold like 25 shoes. And I'm like, yo, so I guess, in a friendly, laughing manner, I'm like, hey, I guess 2 first-class tickets in Beverly Hills Hotels coming up with this, huh? And they respond back, yeah. First class to LA, Beverly Hills Hotel.
Yep.
You get a check. Why not take it, right?
Why not?
You're on the influential list already, so you get to see the Nike shoebox early, and they give you shoes. They gave me an Air Max Zero, which is dope. I love the shoe. And to top it all off, Tinker Hatfield, aka the architect, he's sitting there talking about the shoes and talking about the history of the Air Max, and I was able to talk to him for a few minutes and like, hey, these are my shoes on display. And he was like, wow, thank you for being an Air Max fanatic. Boom, boom, boom. I told him, I was like, you're my number 2. Bruce Kilgore is my hero. Bruce Kilgore designed the Air Force, so Bruce Kilgore is my hero. But you were close number 2, and he found that funny.
And Bruce Kilgore is?
Bruce Kilgore is the guy that designed the Air Force One.
Air Force One.
Okay. Who also did the Jordan 2. He's part of it's like 3 people that want the Jordan 2. He was also on the Jordan 2 as well.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that. So, Bruce Kilgore is my hero because of the Air Force One. I told him he was a close second. He found that real amused. And I was like, hey, listen, I know you're a busy man. I know you're on a schedule, but if you can sign my zeros for me, you'd be doing me a big favor. I didn't have the zeros in my hand yet because they were gifted them to you as you walk out of the thing. So as he's talking to me, I'm like, can you hold on for a second? You just hold that thought. And I literally walked out the bubble Walked over to the marketing chick and I'm like, yo, hey, can I get my pair now? Tinker said he's gonna sign them. Now, I never do this. I've been around LeBron. I've been around everybody. I never do this autograph shit. But for some reason, I'm like, you know what? The hell with it. So I asked her to give me my shoes and I ran back into the bubble and I was like, hey, can you sign these? And he was like, you got a marker? I'm like, oh shit. Hold the thought again. So I run back out and I asked the girl, I was like, I think her name was Elise. I was like, Elise, you got a marker? She's like, here, Mayor. She gave me the marker. I ran back in. So he personalized them to Mayor. Nah, they're going on my feet.
Yeah, I remember these came out. They were pretty hot.
I just like the fact that they were able to take the old original drawings from back then and bring it to life with a, with a this day and age twist. So
Why do you think that Tinker Hatfield's designs were so different than everybody else's when it comes to Jordans?
I don't know. But what I did like about Tinker from hearing, I don't know this personally, what I've heard about Tinker is Tinker was always hands-on with the athlete. What's your favorite? What do you like? Like with the inspiration from the Red 14 or whatever, Jordan's Ferrari or,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So like the fact that they take these things and like I was actually looking at Jordy the other day and he was telling me about the Zoom Generation 1, how they took the little metal lids in the Zoom Generation 1 and it was the rims of the Hummer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. Like I like when people do that. So Tinker was real hands-on with the people. So you're finding out what you like and then bringing shoes like that. My man was a PLM on Kevin Durant's shoe. And he used to tell me all the time when he would sit with the designer and talk to the designer, like, yo, this is what Kevin likes. This is, then you see things that are cool and you see dumb things. Like I see, like what I think is like the whole Jordan play was dope. You know what I'm saying? The patent leather with the 11 and the the elephant print on the, you know what I'm saying? So that was dope. But when I see things like a Kevin Durant peanut butter and jelly 6, because he grew up eating peanut butter and jelly, like who the fuck didn't grow up eating peanut butter and jelly?
Right.
Whether you were rich or poor, who didn't eat peanut butter and jelly?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I have a friend who's super wealthy. Like his son, that's all he ate was peanut butter and jelly. Like I used to call him Skippy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's dumb. Like that's dumb. But when you get into like real plays of what kids like, or what they were fans of growing up, and so on and so forth, or stuff based on what they have now, like LeBron with the Hummer when he came out of high school and bought the Hummer, and Jordan with the Ferrari, and so on and so. Like that's dope. Like I find that dope. And I'm not a big fan of having to tell a story with every shoe. Like that drives me crazy. Like if a shoe comes out around a Spider-Man movie and it's black, red, and royal blue, it's a Spider-Man shoe. Like I hate that. Let us give the shoe a name. You know what I'm saying? Like I hate that. But to Tinker's credit, man, I mean, shit, he's amazing. That's why they call him the architect, man. He's amazing. Like I like the fact that he was hands-on with the athlete. Like that's dope to me.
And I think it depends what you're comparing these to too. I mean, if you're comparing them to Jordans, nothing's gonna ever top Jordan. And it's still right now to this day, nothing puts motherfuckers in the frenzy like a pair of J's. Right now to this day.
What do you think is the most valuable pair of shoes in your collection?
To me personally, or valuable?
On the market.
25,000 right there.
25,000.
And look where I have it, just laying there. And I wear this shit all the time. See that? 25,000, you take that, you do that to that. It means nothing as a goddamn shoe.